The 4-2 Los Angeles Rams taking on the 4-2 Jacksonville Jaguars. This game takes place in London, Wembley Stadium, 6:30 a.m. LA time for kickoff. But anybody going out to the game, we're looking at mid-50s and light rain for this one. So kind of similar weather to what we had last week in Baltimore, but maybe just a little bit more precipitation for this one. We'll get Rich Eisen, Kurt Warner, and Sarah Walsh on the call for anybody checking that out. Obviously, no distribution map this week, as there's no other games going against this one. It will be on NFL Network to check that out super early in the morning. For you bettors, our Rams are -3, -148 on the money line. The over/under 44.5. They have got the Jags at about 21.5 and the Rams at about 23.5. If you're just doing team specific, so they are anticipating this game fairly close. So interesting stuff there. We'll take a look at the international series, as, of course, not the first international game so far this year, obviously, but first for the Rams in what feels like kind of a while, man. So the international history, I guess this isn't history, but in the future, Rams will be in Australia next year. That is the only international team confirmed in any location for next year is Rams hosting a game in Australia. Last time the Rams played a international game, it was 2019. That was the Rams versus the Bengals, 24-10 Rams. Cooper Kupp absolutely went off that day. Love to see it. The Chiefs and the Rams was supposed to be an international game in 2018. Supposed to be played in Mexico, ended up in L.A. Due to a Shakira concert. And that feels like I'm making a joke, but it's most of you know it's not. That is a real thing that happened, man. 2017, the Rams played the Cardinals at Twickenham Stadium. That was a 33-0 win for the Rams. That was McVay's first year as a Rams coach. And before that, 2016 against the Giants, that was Jeff Fisher times. That was a 17-10 win for the Giants at Twickenham Stadium as well. And then last time the Rams were at Wembley Stadium, it was 2012 against the New England Patriots, 45-7. For the Patriots at Wembley. Not good. Not good. In fairness, though, the Rams did have a lead in that game. I don't mean to brag, but Chris Givens caught I think it was like a 45-yard touchdown pass from, was that Bradford? Whew, that was a long time ago, dude. Dang, man. Rams all blue on that one. I remember they went blue on blue. Chris Givens got up, did an awesome celebration. I was like, yo, are we about to win this game? No. No, we were not. So the Rams, that obviously puts us 2-2 internationally with their first trip outside of the U.S. since 2019 on its way this weekend. The Jags have the most international games, and it's by a margin. The Dolphins and the Vikings both have 6. This will be the Jaguars' 14th international game. They are 7-6 internationally. So with the Rams win, we can put them at 500 all time. Absolutely love to see that. Take a look at our pants picks here as the Rams will be rocking the white jersey for the first time since week 1 when the Houston Texans came to town. So that was the last time America saw it. But clean sweep here for the pants picks as everybody going royal. We have not seen royal pants on the year so far. But for a London trip, doesn't it just make perfect sense that you would go royal pants? I mean, it checks out to me, man. So everybody across the board, royal is your picks for this week. So we'll see what happens. Obviously, we get those pants usually on Thursdays. So hop in, though. This is a big deal. It's a game sweeping the nation. Everybody knows. Your mom plays it, so I don't know why you don't. Hop on in, dude. Hop on in. History of this matchup. This is the 7th all-time meeting between the Rams and the Jaguars. The Rams do lead the all-time series, 5-1. The most recent came on December 5th of 2021. The Rams won that game, 37-7. Great times, man. That was my first regular season game at SoFi. Absolutely incredible. We got to see Jalen make some plays against his former team. Obviously, overall, just a really cool day. OBJ caught a touchdown. Van Jefferson caught one right in front of me. Yeah, good stuff, dude. It's an absolutely awesome game. Obviously, a 30-point win. Big stuff there. So, first and only ever game between the Rams and Jags that was not played in October was that December matchup. First ever between these two, October 20th, 1996. The Rams did win that game, 17-14. The lone Jags win came on October 18th of 2009. Jags won that game 23-20, but it was 09. Jags, you ain't special, dude. We were losing to everybody that year. Get that out of here, dude. MJD went off on that day, man. He scored 3 times against the Rams. Leonard Little had a pick 6, so that was pretty sick. But Rams losing in overtime in that one. Josh Scobie hit a 36-yarder in overtime for the Jags after they won the toss. So who knows what would have happened in that game if that would have happened more modern rules. Who knows? But that was also the 09 Rams, so probably the same, I guess, right? Stands to reason, man. So, but a lot of stuff that we're looking for in this one, obviously. A lot of stories heading into this game. Jags are so much better than people expected them to be. They are really, genuinely playing some really solid football. They are making some mistakes, but they are playing some really good football. They are second place in the division at 4-2 behind the 5-1 Colts. The Colts' only loss is to the LA Rams. They are coming in off of a loss against the Seattle Seahawks. Before that, they did win 3 straight, all by one-possession games, but one-possession games seem to be a theme for the 25 season so far. Not a ton of blowouts. I know that we did see a decent amount. What was that, week 5? We saw some good blowouts, but overall, just not really seeing massive differences this year, which I kind of love that, I'll be honest. So this is, let's see here. Last week was the first week for the Jaguars without a turnover on defense. They're just playing some really aggressive football, man, but the Seahawks play some really smart football that don't allow for a lot of turnover opportunities. So I think that's kind of what happened last week. They are first in picks against Stafford, who only has 2 on the year. So quite the battle there, man. Devin Lloyd, the linebacker, he's got 4 interceptions, but he is also not traveling to London as he is dealing with an injury. Jordan Lewis has 2, and 4 others down the column. That includes 3 coming from safeties. So definitely some good stuff coming from that secondary of the Jags, but also they're able to give up some yards, man. It's like they were playing with an entire team of Janoris Jenkins's Jankai? Janoris Jankai. They're just playing with a bunch of them out there, man, where they're either getting an interception or you're burning them. It's no in between right now, but they're doing fine on offense as well. Nothing overly flashy, but they're playing good ball. Led by former Rams OC Liam Cohen. I think Trevor Lawrence is looking a little bit more comfortable than he had this year than he has in the past. And Travis Etienne's playing some really good football, averaging over 5 a carry. So obviously really solid stuff there. On the Rams side, entering off of win against the Baltimore Ravens. So obviously before that was the TNF loss. But it feels like there's just something that's not firing right now with this team. Something just hasn't clicked somewhere. And this may be the perfect week to try to correct that because it's your last AFC opponent. So losing this game doesn't derail your season by any means. Especially London games are so awkward and weird, and they tend to never be able to be predicted properly. So it's just going to be, I think, a little bit of a weird one. But this is a good week to try to, settle yourself in. And again, we never want to see Puka Nacua out of a football game, but that now means that Stafford is somewhat forced to play a full game with Adams as his top guy, which I realize is such a first world problem. You know what I mean? It's huge for us, but it's also such a first world problem. It's like, oh man, we don't have access to Puka Nacua. All we have is Devontae Adams instead. It's like, dude, some teams would be murdering people for the opportunity to have this much luck as far as that goes. And also incredible injury luck so far. Don't want to jinx anything, but Rams have been able to be mostly healthy, especially if you look at the other teams in the league. I feel like we say that every year as like Rams talkers. We always kind of mention like yeah, we have some injuries like that, but look at every other team and tell me how you feel about ours again. We tend to do okay in that world. I think our training staff is absolutely awesome, man. But Tutu expected to be back. Adams obviously healthy. Jordan Wellingspiel is he's looking more comfortable. We got X and Mump there, both available and very good football players as well. So I think that, obviously you never want Tutu out or Puka out, but feels like we're gonna be okay at the very least. You know what I mean? Like it's not like a Puka or bust kind of offense where if we don't have access to him, it's like, well, who else do we even have? This isn't like the 09 Rams where it's like if Steven Jackson's not playing, what are we gonna do? This is the 25 Rams where if Puka Nacua's not playing, it's like, okay, well, we got Kyron, we got Higbee, we got Devontae, we got Tutu, we got Jordan. I mean, we'll be okay. Like, we can be okay at the very minimum, you know what I mean? So, and we also, tight ends as well. They seem to be rotating pretty heavy. We're seeing a lot of Higbee, a lot of Allen, a lot of Ferguson now as well. He's starting to get more of a rotation. So, could be on the receiving end of some targets maybe soon as well. I don't want to get too ahead of myself, you know? You never know. Yeah, obviously, again, we never want to see Puka hurt, but we're playing the cards that we are dealt, and that one of those cards is a Puka that's dealing with an ankle, and we have a bye week after that. So the reason I'm talking about him like this is I don't expect him to play this week because we have the bye week next week, where then it's NFC Slate City, dude. So keep him ready for that. And it's like it's better to miss him for one game than have him play at 60% the rest of the season. You know what I mean? That's kind of how I'm feeling about that. So, yeah, that's we just got to play the cards that we're dealt, man. So could be some big days for some others as well. And I think that's rather exciting stuff to talk about as well. That Puka being out could mean, what if Tutu goes off for like 146? What if Devontae has like a 174-yard day? It's possible, dude. That's all I'm saying is it's absolutely possible. But yeah, Puka, watch him play. Watch him play anyway and be absolutely killer. Watch him just go off too, because he's Puka Nacua and he's not human. Like that almost feels real too, man. Let's take a look at the connections in this one. Some former Rams who are currently on the Jaguars. We're going to start with tight ends Hunter Long and Johnny Munt, who, according to the Jaguars' official website, are both listed as starters. Two former Rams tight ends that are listed as starters. And last week, 10 targets between the two of them, so they are definitely involved in this offense. Head coach Liam Cohen, obviously a former offensive coordinator of your Los Angeles Rams. Short timer, nothing too crazy, but he was around. Passing game coordinator Shane Waldron is also spending some time with the Jags out there. And it's just a whole new regime. I mean, it's first year OC, DC, as well as a head coach. We've got tape now, and maybe them coming in because they have talented players, you know what I mean? So, in what seems to be a solid offensive scheme, a very aggressive defensive scheme, but it seems like now, like we've got the tape on what their tendencies are going to start to be. So maybe that's kind of the good timing of this one. It's like how you want a rookie quarterback in week 2, like we had against Cam Ward and the Titans in Tennessee. But like for a team like this, new head coach, veteran quarterback, and good wide receivers and a good running backs like that, like you almost want to see the scheme now. So having this one a little bit later is good. You want the inexperience out of Cam Ward because it's only his second NFL game. Here you want the tape and as much evidence as you have on what they like to run in different situations. So I think it actually is rather beneficial for the Rams to be getting this game. I mean, we're still what I consider early season, but we're about mid-season, getting to that point now where we kind of get some information on tendencies and stuff like that. So let's take a look at the matchup here. Rams offense going against the Jags defense. Rams have a top 5 offense right now, putting up just over 386 a game, going against the 23rd ranked Jags defense, 357.7. Passing the football, the Rams are making their money with Stafford, man. 3rd in the NFL, putting up almost 270 a game. Jaguars giving up over 256. That's 30th in the league. Rushing the football, Rams are 22nd here. We don't do a lot of attempts, 105.8 per game. The Jags giving up a little 91.5. That's 8th in the NFL, so top 10 unit there. Average points being put up, Rams 23.3. That's 16th in the NFL, dead center. And then Jags give up 20. That is tied for 7th. 3rd down conversion, Rams are 20.3. I feel like I wrote that wrong. I think it's 40.3. It's tied for 16th, and then Jags giving up 41%. That is 23rd in the NFL. So obviously what you're looking at there is Rams seemingly have an opportunity to throw the football all over this Jags defense, but that's also what we saw last week against the Baltimore Ravens. It will come down to game planning as well as some health and just kind of what their game plan is too. I know we say that a lot, but like the opponent also has a say. You can't just do whatever you want to do because you want to do it and you think that you should be able to. You also got to figure out what they're trying to take away from you and how to adjust on that. Jaguars defense, lots of picks, but giving up lots of yards, man. I'm really interested to see what the McVay game plan is for this one, considering last week against the Ravens, it didn't seem, well, in fairness too, there was like a lot of drops from Devontae. We lose Puka Nacua at some point in the game as well in the second. So, I mean, obviously that stuff absolutely plays in, but I'm curious to see where he's trying to attack and how often he's trying to attack this Jaguars secondary because they can intercept you. So you do want to kind of hedge your bets when it comes to throwing the ball because you can get them. They can also get you on that. He gave up 346 yards to the Seahawks last week, the bulk of that coming through the air. So, I mean, obviously that's where you're going to want to attack. It seems like that's going to be the case, but we also have a head coach that knows us at least a little bit, so maybe has a little bit of insight on how to slow us down. I don't think he knows our game plan or anything like that, but at least a little bit of tendencies of like, well, he likes to attack here, maybe we got to watch out for this, like stuff like that. So that stuff does come into play. Leader in sacks for the Jags defense is going to be Eric Armstead. We saw we've seen plenty of him, former 49er. He's got 3.5 on the season, and they have really been solid against the run, so that's certainly something to look out for. Kyron Williams, Blake Corum, that combo there. Doesn't really seem like we're going to get Jarquez Hunter involved quite yet. I'm not sure if that'll really even happen this season. I do anticipate that when he starts really getting some carries will be next year. We'll kind of see how that shakes out, I guess. But right now, Kyron and Blake, that's totally formidable duo. No issues on my end there. Some guys that we're looking at on the other side here. We're going to start with cornerback Jordan Lewis, playing strong football so far this year. He's going to have a tough task against Adams, but that also almost helps him because now you don't have a Puka Nacua on the other side tearing up the ankles of your homies over there. So that is at least something good for Jordan Lewis. He's got 2 interceptions on the season. Solid helper on tackles. He's got 4 TFLs, tied for the team lead as a corner. So obviously an aggressive player, aggressive bunch, man. This seriously, like if you can get him, you can get him. Like if you can, I'm expecting some double moves in this one, especially against Jordan Lewis, who seems to be playing some really aggressive football. Next, we're going to go with Josh Hines Allen. Awesome stuff last week with his son being an honorary captain. Oh, man, I'm here for all that kind of stuff. I love that with my whole heart, man. After being diagnosed with leukemia, obviously. Dude, that little guy is such a little champion, man. Big fan. Love that. But Josh Hines Allen, he leads the team in quarterback hits, but he only has half a sack. So he is getting there, but seems like when he's breaking free, get rid of that dang ball. I know that much, you know what I mean? But he is tied with Lewis for most TFLs with 4, and just clearly getting a lot of attention when it comes to pass rush. But it's because he's a really good player. It makes perfect sense to kind of shade a little bit that way. And next up here, we're going to go with cornerback Tyson Campbell. No picks on the season, but he has knocked down 6 of them. He is tied for second on the team with 34 tackles. So definitely getting in there on that action. The defense kind of flies around, man. So, I mean, these are 3 names that I'm picking out to watch, but there's a lot of really good players to watch out for when it comes to the Jags defense. I think they're playing some good football. Probably a playoff team, if I had to guess. I don't even know if they're sitting in the playoffs right now, but it does kind of seem like that's where they're sitting in, because a lot of the AFC teams that even are 4-2 and stuff like that, they just, I'm not including Jags here, but they don't seem as complete as the Jaguars do. And Jags were my team coming into the season of, I said they were going to be the most improved from last year. Jags and Patriots were the 2 teams that I kind of penciled in as like, no, watch out for them. Those teams are going to be good. And so, and I mean, it's kind of working out. Obviously, Patriots 4-2, Jags 4-2. We'll kind of see how the season unravels. But so far, man, I mean, if you pay enough attention, you pay close attention on who's hiring, who you're getting for your coach, GM, Gladstone out there for the Jags. Love to see that. But you pay attention to those kind of hires, Mike Vrabel in New England, and you can start to tell who might be good. So there's that. Best one-on-one for this matchup. I'm going to go A.J. Jackson against Josh Hines Allen. Hines Allen has not been able to secure getting to the quarterback much, but he is getting in there, dude. Like I said, leads the team with 8 quarterback hits. He's starting to settle in, and I do feel like he's going to start to get home soon. He does only have the half a sack, so obviously he's probably getting a little bit antsy out there, maybe gets a little bit aggressive out there. So obviously A.J. Jackson will be tasked with making sure that drought does continue, keeping number 9 upright. 3 to C on the Rams' offensive side. We're going to start with Devontae Adams. I'm not excited to not have Puka. I love watching Puka Nacua play football. It's rather exciting. But number 17, Devontae Adams, is going to be out there. And I am so excited to see what Devontae Adams, being the feature wide receiver in the Rams, Sean McVay offense, what that looks like. All right. I might be one of those weirdos. I know that there's a few of us out there that, like, I mean, obviously I'm not stoked that anybody's hurt ever for the Rams, but when it happens, it's like, dude, I'm kind of excited to see this guy. Like, I'm kind of excited to see what he's got. You know what I mean? Would never root for or cheer for or be happy about an injury, especially on our own squad, but hey, it's the cards we've gotten, and I'm really curious to see how this shakes out. Devontae, especially after last week where he had multiple dropped passes, I am expecting for him to just be at a different level, a little bit different level of focus this week, but it is going to be rainy, so something to watch out for. Next up, tight end Terrence Ferguson. That's right, man. He's starting to get more reps, and it feels like the targets are going to start coming in as well. We saw him get a good chunk of more reps this last week against Baltimore than we had in previous games, making an appearance as early as the third play of the Rams offensive series. So love to see that, man. And just like, it feels like we're just kind of like, okay, get some reps in there, man. Get some live action. see how it's all coming together. But we saw the catch that he had against was that the Niners? Then we saw that catch, man. So I think that ultimately we've gotten just a little crumpet, if you will, of what Terrence Ferguson can bring to the Rams offense, and I'm ready for the full English breakfast, dude. So bring it in, man. You like my London references, dude? That was incredible. And next up here, we're going to go with wide receiver Tutu Atwell, the Tutu train. Obviously, again, mentioned in Puka Nacua, likely missing this game. Tutu could see a decent amount of looks, man. He was kind of held out for precautionary reasons last week. The Rams do tend to be very smart with their injuries, especially lately. And Tutu, I'm figuring, is back this week. He was limited in practice on Wednesday, but should be back. By the way, those videos of practicing at the Orioles park, I forgot the name of it already, but so dope, dude. That was so cool. Seeing Kyron run out. That shot of like the whoever's video admin out there following Kyron up the stairs out of the field. That was the coolest shot of them all, man. But also to be like such an iconic venue with that warehouse back there and stuff like that. That was so cool to see the Rams practicing out there. But maybe Matthew Stafford's going to ruin our welcome because he's standing on the mound in front of a sign that very clearly says, please no cleats on the... and he's just rocking his cleats, dude. You don't tell number 9 what to do. Get the hell out of here with that. But Tutu Atwell, man, the Tutu train, we've gotten a flavor of what he can pull out as well, man. So obviously with needing another wide receiver in the action, stands to reason, man. Tutu could absolutely have a big day in this one. We'll see what the game plan is for 1-2-2 train. When's that thing leaving the station? Let's flip over here, the other side here. We're going to look at the Jags offense going against the Rams defense. Jaguars on offense are sitting middle of the road, about 345 a game. The Rams defense is 13th, giving up 330. Passing the football, 15th for the Jags offense, and Trevor Lawrence, 207 a game, where the Rams are giving up just 200, 199. That is a top 10 unit at number 9 overall. Rushing the football, 11th in the league for the Jags offense, putting up 124 a game, where the Rams are giving up 107.8. That's 15th. Average points being put up, 23.2 for the Jags. That is just like 0.1 less than the Rams are putting up. That's 17th. The Rams give up 18.3. That is third in the NFL. And third down conversion, the Jags convert 35.4%. That is 25th. And the Rams giving up 36.5. That is a top 10 third down unit for your Rams defense here. So the Rams defense, obviously, has been a little bit streaky, and especially starting a little bit slow. We saw it the last 2 weeks that the opening drive for teams, they were able to kind of just work it down on us. We were able to kind of shift it and adjust mid-drive against the Ravens as they were kind of pulling out really heavy sets, which I feel like we should have expected that. Cooper Rush was starting. They got Derrick Henry, but whatever. And then against the Niners, their first 2 drives ran it down on us for touchdowns. So obviously a little bit faster start would be nice here, but they can also, this Rams defense can definitely smother you at any moment, man. So, I mean, like I said, last week was a rough start. I mean, you get, Derrick Henry with like a 7-yard run, then then a first down, then it's like just kind of, it's like, whoa, hold on, slow down here, man. But the Rams did play really well last week against the defense. Definitely better pass attack this week. Obviously, Cooper Rush and Snoop Huntley for the Ravens last week wasn't really going to be getting it done. But Trevor Lawrence, whatever you think about Trevor Lawrence, he is a lot better than both of those guys. So certainly a stronger pass attack for the Rams. They are 9th in yards per carry and 24th in yards per pass attempt. So that kind of tells you exactly where we're dealing with here, though. They are definitely they're going to try to get the ground game rolling. Makes perfect sense. You got Travis Etienne out there. It hasn't been an issue to get the ground game rolling, but I think that ultimately the way that the Jaguars are not able to fully get the pass game going yet, like Trevor Lawrence to Brian Thomas has not yet really solidified itself. And obviously Travis Hunter, he's still getting involved a little bit, but it does seem like this week he will get a little bit more involved. But I think that overall, the Jaguars are very much just going to, and it's, again, we're dealing with a little bit of a rain game in this one, so it does stand to reason that Travis Etienne and that ground attack will get the bulk of the attention as far as the play calling goes out of the Jags. Seahawks last week sacked Lawrence, was it? I said 5 times. I think it was actually 7, if I'm not mistaken. But either way, a big opportunity for the Rams and their strength, which is rushing the passer. Between Byron Young and Jared Verse just last week, the pressures were absolutely insane, and against a decent offensive line. So this week, obviously, going against another okay offensive line, and I think that the Rams have an opportunity to really mess with Trevor Lawrence, but probably the most mobile guy that we faced so far this year. Trying to think here. We got Jones, Rush, Stroud maybe would be in there, and then Ward. But those are weeks ago. So, yeah, but a little bit more mobile for Trevor Lawrence in this one. As for guys we're looking at on the other side here, we're going to start with running back Travis Etienne. 2 touchdowns on the year, 5.3 yards per carry. That's absolutely nuts. Obviously, really getting it done there. It doesn't seem like they put all their eggs into that basket, but it certainly is the most effective basket those eggs are in. That makes perfect sense. I absolutely love that. Next up, wide receiver Brian Thomas still seems to be getting, his second year gears engaged as a full go, but he's obviously a super incredible talented player, man. You can certainly go off at any time. 13.9 yards per reception is really nice, but 7 yards per target is kind of rough. Those numbers are very different, and like the 13.9 yards per reception, top on his team. 7th in yards per target is 4th on the Jags. So obviously that connection has not solidified so far in the 25 season, but obviously with Trevor Lawrence and Brian Thomas, anything can happen at any moment. Maybe this is the week it starts firing. Feels like that's kind of our luck, but hopefully not. And last up, we'll look at quarterback Trevor Lawrence. 8 touchdowns, 5 picks on the season, so nothing super crazy. That is kind of standard numbers. He looks more comfortable this year than he has in past seasons, and I kind of stand by that. I think that he just seems a little bit more confident this year, but he is also just like not the same quarterback that we're used to. So I feel like we're judging Trevor Lawrence, Rams fans are, based on knowing who Matthew Stafford is. He is so not that guy. You know what I mean? Like, he's not a master motivator, Trevor Lawrence. I just think he's a really quiet, calm, collected dude who's just, like, not going to complain. He's not going to get all fiery. You're not going to see him get up and, like, don't look at me. He's not going to be pulling any of that. It just doesn't feel like he's that kind of guy. But he's under pressure a lot, man. He's getting sacked 13 times. More than 5% of his dropbacks, he is getting sacked. Stafford is at an even 5, so per dropback, Trevor Lawrence is getting sacked a little bit more, but they're about even in that world. My best one-on-one, I'm going to go with the Rams corners entirely against Travis Hunter. It does sound like the Jags are going to start featuring Hunter more into their offense. It seems like this is the week that kind of starts happening, because this is the week that they started talking about that as like, we want to get him as like on certain plays. We want him to be the primary, certain comments like that. So look for Travis Hunter in this one. The reason too that I put out the Rams corners in this one specifically is simply because I think last week was their best game against the Baltimore Ravens. I think that the corners played absolutely great. I know that Quentin Lake is not a corner, but he got that pick in man coverage. So, I mean, obviously, I think that everybody just played in the secondary. Everybody played a really, really tight game last week. So I'm hoping that continues. Obviously, we all hope it does. But the corners coming off of last game, I think that the confidence level is a little bit is growing a little bit, and hopefully we can get Ahkello Witherspoon back in action as well, because that's only going to make us better, obviously. 3 to see for the Rams defensive side. We're going to start with Nate Landman, the man of lands. 31 tackles over the last 2 games is absolutely crazy. A 17 tackle game last week is a Rams record. We did see that it was like Laurinaitis, Ogletree had a 16 tackle game. Mark Barron had a 16 tackle game one time. So it certainly is, it's in there. But Landman, man, going off for 17, it was like I was doing my rewatch of the broadcast, and it was like Landman in there for the tackle. Nate Landman gets him. Nate Landman pulling him down. Nate Landman gets it. It's like it's like, okay, Nate Landman, this guy's good, dude. 53 out here, man. Who's 53? We all know him now. He's obviously Green Dot captain, Nate Landman. Absolutely on fire, man. But obviously we're gonna need him again, man. So the big push that Landman has helped with is the run defense, and we're going against a team that likes to run it. Travis Etienne, man, we're going against really, really good running backs week in, week out. And obviously, Derrick Henry was able to put over 100 on the Rams, but overall playing some really good football against these really, really good running backs. Obviously, we saw that Derrick Henry had a couple of pops there, but nothing that was like, no one got embarrassed, which going against Derrick Henry, I'll take that much as a win, Next up, we're going to go with Quentin Lake. First pick of his career last year, dude. Absolutely love to see that. And not only that, not only was it like his first pick of his career, it wasn't one where he was just like sitting, playing midfield and then just like gets a dart to the chest or something like that. It wasn't even that way. Manned up on Zay Flowers, pulling away with the pick. Yo, hell yeah, Q. That's absolutely awesome, man. So I'm kind of wondering if this is going to be like the start of a wave, like just what I tweeted at him was like, pick a game for the rest of the year, dude. Pick a game, man. Pick a game. So hopefully that streak continues, and we get Q Lake, Captain Q, getting another one. Also, Right on Q back, by the way, the show, Right on Q on the Rams YouTube channel. Killer stuff. And next up here, we're going to go with corner. We're going to go with Darius Williams. D-Will. I'm really liking the way Williams is playing right now. Obviously, we saw some weird stuff go on in the early season where he didn't even play in week 1 against the Texans. Healthy. Was just like, nah, this ain't your matchup, man. Fair. Hey, what do I know, man? We also have some really good corners. Forbes is really good. Durant's really good. Witherspoon's really good. We've got good corners out here. So for Darius Williams to kind of get those games where it's like, nah. And then in this one, he's had a couple of really, really strong just passes batted down, man, on some really tough matchups. Had a really good one early last week. So I'm just really digging the way that Darius Williams is playing right now. It feels like he's just kind of getting that swag back a little bit, man. Like it just kind of felt like that was maybe not as potent in the early season, maybe weeks 1 through 4. But ever since then, it kind of feels like we're getting a little bit more in there. So I'm absolutely fired up for it, man. Darius Williams, who I'm looking at for this one. Biggest key in this game. I'll give you your keys here. That's how I'm going to end. I'm not going to do predictions. Don't do predictions, but I'll give you the biggest key here. Number 1, turnovers. The Jaguars defense leads the NFL in interceptions and turnovers in general. Rams don't really turn the ball over that often. Only 2 interceptions coming from Matthew Stafford. Obviously, we do have some fumbles, but just 2 interceptions coming from Matthew Stafford. I think that this is quite the matchup here. It's going to be some risks on both sides. The Jags defense trying to take some risks, trying to step in front of some balls, but also some risks from the Rams, maybe trying to pull some no looks, dude. Because when you're playing against a defense that is this aggressive, Matthew Stafford being able to pull off no looks might be the key to just dicing these dudes up. Especially in a rain game like that, man. It's just, that is the variable that's so hard. It's an AFC opponent and in a rain game. Those are like 2 very big variables. This could be a 13-7 game or 45-7 Rams. You decide. But that's my biggest key, turnovers. If we're giving Trevor Lawrence the ball, our own 35, bad things are going to be happening. You know what I mean? But if we're making them catch a Cardi kickoff every time when they want the ball back, I love our odds to win this game. If we win the turnover battle in this one, I think average starting field position and turnovers, you look at those 2 items in this game, and I think that will tell you who wins. We got Fan Quesos. That is on the other side of this. Wait, well, hold on. Don't go. Game preview, Tuna and the Sheriff. That'll be on Friday morning, 7 a.m. Also, this is an early game, but I will be doing my pregame live stream, okay? We are going to be up early morning, probably pounding Red Bulls, dude. But it's going to be awesome. We're going to be taking off real early in the morning and going to catch this action. So join me in the morning, Ram Showcase Facebook page and YouTube channel for that pregame live stream as we wake up early, dude. Get your stretches in. It'll be the first pajama game that we've had in a long time. So good stuff, dude.